Hey, what's up, traders? Mike here with the watch list video for Thursday, September 21st. We got the FOMC behind us. My humble apologies. I got called away from the market, or from my screens, I should say, right before the FOMC, and I was never able to return. So I'm sort of just now finding out what happened. Okay, looked like an initial tank, then a bounce, retest, and then just fell apart. The Dow is only down 76 points. The Nasdaq 209. Yeah, interesting, right? Um, anyway, the SPY is starting to look a little bit uglier. We'll see what happens tomorrow. A lot of times you just get a knee jerk to the FOMC and then it's back, back to usual. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, market's been pretty dead. At least FOMC's behind us, and maybe some individual stocks will start moving a little better. The one trade I took this morning was AVGR. I think it was Matt or Nick. I can't remember which one called it, and I didn't even see it. Let me I gotta use my scrolly wheel here to scroll over. I saw it. Pretend you can't see that little green part. When it was starting to come back up, I noticed it topped out at 11, and I noticed yesterday's high. Let me get the number right. Was 11.15. So I love the whole number inflection point high of day break with yesterday's high just above as another catalyst. So I jumped on the mic. If you were there today, you heard me. And I said, hey guys, I like AVGR back over 11, right? And you can see what happened. In one 5-minute candle, let me try to figure out how quickly, it went to 11.98 and then came back down to my entry. So I had a nice big fat scalp on that. And anyway, I think it was Wayne or somebody else said, hey, thank you, either Matt or Nick and Mike. That's me, Mike. And that's when I went and scrolled through chat and realized it had already been posted. So my apologies for putting it over the mic when it had already been posted. But that, that happens all the time in our chat room, right? I post something or I say something that's already been posted and I didn't see it, or 2 or 3 different people see the same exact setup. Anyway, glancing at this, you took it through 11, you had to know, hey, this is a trade in the first 15 minutes. I'm going to pay myself along the way, and I'm going to protect my entry. And I mean, literally, within a minute or two, it was right back down to the entry. So whenever I take a trade in the first 15 minutes, I get that pop, I'm just clicking sell, right? I'm selling in parts in case this wanted to just run straight to 20. I would have still had some. But started selling on the way up, came back to my entry, I'm back on the rest. Had a neat little trade. And that may have been all I did all day. Again, I got pulled away. So you can see AVGR, big move there, though, and a strong close. So I will just go ahead and say now that is on watch for tomorrow. TTOO had the big rip the other day, and it's right back down. It's more than a round trip, actually, but it's back down into support. So I am going to put that on bounce watch. I don't usually trade penny stocks, but it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. CVNA, Carvana with the cup and handle. And then if I go to the weekly, the longer term cup and handle, it's still to me, a lot of people that thought it was going to do that big breakout squeeze are underwater now, right? But it's still to me a valid bounce play setup. Here's the early high that it put in probably 20, 25 minutes in right there. And then it sold off the rest of the day. So for me, you guys in chat know me. I would like to see maybe a gap down would be best, and then I would trade it as a gap down bounce play setup if it sets up, or a narrow range, relatively speaking, to the daily candles, and then an afternoon high of day break. Those are my 2 favorite ideas if they happen on CVNA. And then a side note, I'll also be watching it for potential 30 setup, right? RUM just goes right back on bounce watch. Couple bottoming tails here the last couple days, though. PLNT. Tried to bounce today, but maybe the weak market got a hold of it. I don't know, but I'm just going to put it right back on bounce for tomorrow. NKLA, I've been talking about how strong this has been. Now you got 2 red days in a row. I'm going to treat it just like I treat a bounce play. ARM, which is a IPO from 6 sessions ago? 5 sessions ago. Had a big rip on opening day, gapped up, and it's been tanking ever since. I'm going to treat it like a bounce play. If I get a bounce play set up, I'll take a trade. ELF, ELF, starting to get a little fast to the downside, nice volume. Again, I don't take any of these blindly. You guys know that. I take a trade if I get an intraday bounce play setup. I'm in cash every night. You guys know that. So I will be watching that one. IONQ, another potential bounce play. AVGR, I already talked about that being really strong. DG is Dollar General. I think it got a, I'm not sure. I don't want to get it mixed up with Chewy is the other one. I keep thinking this one, though. People said this one got a downgrade, too, which is why it gapped down today. And it's holding up. So, hey, we've got some support in Dollar General finally. Definitely goes on watch for tomorrow for a potential long setup. SCS, big breakout today, closing well off its highs. You could make the assertion that maybe it closed well off its highs because the overall market was weak. So I am going to put that on long watch. And then lastly, UPD. Let me try that again. UPTD. I love this daily chart. You had this massive rip back here. Then you had another rip, red day, another rip, red day, and another rip. My only problem with this one, as I'm talking to you right now, it's trading at 14 bucks. So if I had been around, this would have been one of my top watches in after hours because I love this daily, and it's one of those low floaters, right, that can rip. But let's quickly glance at that together. Okay, so, all right, this was the 4 o'clock closing candle. It ran a little bit, pulled back, and then absolutely ripped. So we'll see. We'll see if it gives a setup tomorrow, but I love the daily. This one's got a lot of potential. Probably my favorite to watch, but you got to be careful with it. Watch the spreads. Make sure there's actually, some volume coming into it if it sets up. That's it for me. We'll add gappers as we always do in the pre-market. I'm done battling. Have a great night. I'll see you in chat.